It goes lights, camera, action when I step into the limelight. Easily adapted to the high life.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. This is episode number
136. It's lost its sparkle. Now that I know, we're gonna have to throw a wrench in the. We gotta do something. We gotta do something about this because now that I know, the thrill is gone.
It's true. Yeah. And my name is Henry.
I'm Chloe.
And this week we got a great show for you.
It's wild.
We have a review of the new Charlize Theron Netflix film, The Old Guard. And then we have a retro review of The Man with the Iron Fists from 2012. And we also have some news to talk about. Maybe we can touch on, Chloe, did you see the Tax Collector trailer? The Shia LaBeouf?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, maybe touch on that.
Is that the one you got the tats for?
He did, yes.
That's wild.
It is.
Maybe it was an excuse. Because,
maybe.
he's Jewish, so maybe he had to be like, Mom, I have to do this for my art, okay?
Yeah.
Because, no tattoos for Jews.
Yeah.
But that's not really a thing anymore, but it is.
Yeah.
That'll be my excuse whenever, my friends think I'm super lame. I'll be like, you know.
Yeah. And then also, Chloe, I don't know if you saw the Netflix most watched movies list that I think just came out today, actually. They released their most watched original movies. I
saw remnants of such a thing. No, not remnants. I saw the precursor, as in my cursor was on the article title, but no clicks were made.
Well, there
some
are
about the Irishman and some about 100 million or something. I don't know.
Well, we'll get to it. Get to it. There are some great surprises and shocks on there. We have a listener question, other stuff we watch, all the usual stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks so much again for joining us.
Hello. Bonjour.
Chloe, it's great. It's great to see you. I miss you.
Too, Henry.
Can't
believe it's already been has it been a week?
It has been a week, yes.
Can't believe. Wow.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
It's been all right. Been quite busy. School, my online summer classes wrap up next week.
Wow.
So I'm in the heat of it now.
Of course. Exciting. Yeah. Do you have cool finals? Are they projects?
I have one. I think they're both exams.
Oh. At least they're fast.
Yes.
Faster than a project.
Yeah. What about you, Chloe?
Oh, just tons of exams over here. Self-examinations, lots of introspection.
Yes.
That's not really true, but that's okay. Yeah, not much, Henri. I know, it's crazy. I should. I say this every time now. There was some ask, I can't remember. But, yeah, I don't know. Time is a flat circle, so we'll get there when we get there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention, so we did Hamilton last week on the show.
Yeah.
It is
my favorite of the year.
Not in terms of total downloads, but I think to date, it is our most quickly downloaded episode that we've ever done.
Look at us. Good for us. Mooching off the success of Lin-Manuel. That's beautiful.
And we also had some people commenting on our Facebook post for that. So hello, if you're listening.
They're probably not. Remember that time those people got in a fight? Those dudes. They got in a fight on the Facebook page over something. Do you remember?
No.
Oh, come on, Henry. This was a while ago, but they were not from America. They were both from different places, and they were seriously fighting over something being good or not.
I can't believe I don't remember that. But
me neither.
I don't.
But we're a place for the exchange of ideas and all that stuff. If you want my Venmo, just let me know.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't use Venmo. You shouldn't either. I got that's a good thing. My bank be switching finally.
Oh, are you going to
switching
First
to an
Horizon?
Ethical bank?
You going to First Horizon?
No. What's that?
SunTrust is switching as well.
No, I'm switching.
Oh.
personally.
Oh, okay.
No more blood money over here.
No.
I've wanted to do a switch for a long time, but there's a lot of, they don't really want you to. So there's all these,
hurdles.
all this red tape. Yeah, that's right. My dad did my dad, he was, was on the track team in college. My grandfather was too. And you know who he ran against? This story used to be a lot cooler. Is that a good hint? Bill Cosby. No. So anyway, he beat him, so it's fine.
That's good.
The story holds up. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yes, my dad was on the track team, whatever. And then I think it was like the first meet of like his freshman year or something. And they were like, and he's like a sprinter, like that's it. Cause us, we're big old soccer heads over here. Mm-hmm. So, and forwards cause we're narcissists, so sprinting. But, his coach was like, hey buddy, our hurdler, that's fun to try it.
Hurdler.
Yeah, it sounds good when you say it. I figured it would. Our hurdler is, I don't know, food poisoning or something. Who could say? Mm. But, so my dad did it, and he goes, do. And he was like, first of all, I do not want to do this, but okay, whatever. So, do, go and hurdle. But then, Henry.
What happened?
Traumatic. So, what happened was, and Gary will let you know very fast, he didn't actually make a mistake, which, who's to say? But, the hurdler next to him fell, hit a hurdle, obviously. That's the whole point of the game. I mean, to not, but you take my meaning. No. But hit it and then went into my dad's lane, like a really bad bowler. You know what I mean? Into the next person's thing. And I guess he and my dad were tied or something. Because he went into my dad and my dad fell and he stepped on his knee and
ow.
Like that.
Ow.
I know. Good thing my dad was smart. He was like, no more track.
That's a good
but then
call.
He still played soccer later. So it's could have been that bad, but he probably faked it because he hated hurdles so much.
Yeah.
Just kidding. He didn't. He's going to sue me for libel. Libel? Slander. Who knows? Both? Arson. Let's go with arson. So yeah.
Cool. And a couple in-house things. So if you haven't joined our Patreon page yet, go to Patreon.
Rewind. Up? What is this segment called?
Oh, yeah. Housekeeping. So
thank you.
Go to patreon.com/thefilmbuds, and that link is at thefilmbuds.com and in the show notes. And so if you just want to help support the weekly show, the upkeep, and we'd appreciate it if you do. And thank you to the people who have helped get that started.
Yeah. Gracias.
Also, because we did have so many downloads last week, if you haven't checked out our other shows, we do have the Music Buds as well as You Don't Need Anyone, which are two spin-off, kind of irregular released podcasts we also do. Yeah. Check those out.
Not irregular. Do you remember Wonder Balls?
I think.
About Kinder Eggs. No?
No.
What is the food with a secret surprise in it? Let me think. They're like, no, I was gonna say when I had that big block of wood in my salad, but that's a negative thing. Except because I had ordered a salad, but because there was a block of wood in it, I remember I got to go next door for the Belgian French fries, so that's a big plus. So the other shows, it's not irregularities; they're just blocks of wood in your salad. So a little surprise.
that should be the tagline on our profile. Yeah, I
think so.
Well, okay.
Have to make sure it's not taken.
Oh, of course not. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. I can talk about my Columbo box set. I don't know if anybody wants to hear about that.
Please do.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure.
And then if I fall asleep, I'll blame it on the narcolepsy. But
yeah, I'm sure half the people just skipped ahead 20 minutes. But yeah, I'm a huge Columbo fan. I love Peter Falk. He's the best. I love the guy. And
I love him too.
Yeah.
Just I'm more of a Princess Bride kind of person.
Oh, fair enough. On Amazon Prime, they have seasons 1 through 7 via IMDb free TV, which is
God,
just
that's a
offered
mouthful.
through Amazon Prime.
That's like some knockoff alphabet soup is what you just said.
Yeah, they have a lot. But it's ads in there. It's free, but it has ads, and there's
like the OG Hulu.
Yeah, there's a ton of Benjamin Moore commercials. I know them by heart. The paint company.
Oh, I love paint.
Yes.
I just asked Meg to get me some house. She's going to the scrap exchange because apparently it's like 3 people at a time and, mass and everything. But scrap exchange is huge, terrifying place. It's like where they would hide a body, a Columbo. Somebody would it could be a place for Columbo.
Could be, yeah.
Right? And she said, you want anything? And I said, house paint, please, all the time.
Yeah.
No joke, this morning.
Oh, I believe you.
Wow.
Well, over the last, 6 months or so, I've just been kind of going back and just through the episodes a lot. I just love the show so much. But I thought because that's what they offered, that's all that there was. I thought after 7 seasons, that makes sense. That's a good time to end a lot of shows.
You didn't check?
No, but that's the surprise, Chloe. That's
the what?
That's the block of wood in your salad. Yeah. Anyhow, I said, okay, I'm desperate for more Columbo, more Peter.
Mm-hmm. More French.
I went online, typed in Columbo seasons, blah blah blah. All of a sudden, I saw Columbo from I can't remember the start date, but it went through 2003.
24 BC.
Yeah, it went through 2003. And I was like, wait, what? That's wild. I looked and I typed in Columbo box set.
Right.
And lo and behold, Chloe.
Whoa.
Seasons, I think, excuse me if I'm wrong here. I'm sure all the Columbo heads are getting on me. I think seasons 8, 9, and 10 were offered, plus.
All the Columbo heads don't know how to use a podcast, don't know how to get to the podcast.
That's true, actually. Probably. I got to start a Columbo podcast for fans. and then, not only that, plus 24, count them, 24 Columbo TV movies as well.
One for each hour in the day.
Yeah, kind of.
One
and they're
for
about
each year of my existence.
Yeah. And so I was like, heck yeah. And I bought it. And Chloe, it's been a dream. The first one, I was a little worried. It's a little too stylized. I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, really?
This wasn't worth it. But it settles in and it gets going. It's dancing.
Stylized.
It does. Because the original seasons don't really have any music. And they're not, but this first one was almost done like a noir.
Gotcha.
And it just wasn't working for me, Chloe.
Gotcha.
Wasn't working. I've been having a great time. It's been so nice.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Are you savoring or how are you?
Oh, I'm savoring. I'm savoring. Yeah, big time.
Playing it at half speed.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Have you watched Diagnosis Murder?
I haven't.
No?
Wait.
You're welcome. That's next on your list.
Okay.
That's elderly, because, not compared to now, but, elderly Dick Van Dyke is a retired doctor who goes around solving murders.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I would get on it.
Yeah.
I have this really strong, we've been over this before, I hate Columbo, but not really because of the show, just because it's one of those things I had to watch when I really didn't want to when I was little. Also, I really don't like how you see the murder. I just do not. So, because you know what it is? It's how Hermione raises her hand and nobody calls on her, and she just has to say the answer. If I know, I need a hotline. I need to be able to tell you. Okay, I had the same problem with Dora the Explorer when I was a wee lass.
Yes.
I was probably 2. Yeah, probably, no, but maybe 3. And, because they would do where's the candy cane or whatever, right? I was like, it's behind you. And then they wait 20 freaking seconds. And then she's like, oh, there it is. I'm like, yeah, no dip, idiot. So I have a very lack of patience. We know this.
Of course. It's okay. It's all right. I have
a very tumultuous relationship with the TV characters not listening to me when I obviously dedicate a lot of time to listening to them. But I have a really specific memory. Just tell me if this one comes to you. Something about a glass table. And it shot at a really low angle, below the table.
Yes, and and sorry to belabor this, everybody. It's like a slow-mo shot almost.
Yep.
I've seen that one. That's a great one.
Bah humbug.
So
I'm making all these Christmas references. This is weird.
Although it is gross, only DVD. I could not. I was
Even
embarrassed.
Though it's gross. Oh, Blu-ray! I forget Blu-ray exists.
That's. I hate having it on my shelf, but
Henry,
hey, it's Columbo.
I only have DVDs. Pretty sure.
I know, but once you get Blu-ray, you can't go back. It's just like
I see no difference.
Oh, there's a difference.
But you know what bothers me? Because you can play Blu-rays in a DVD player, right?
No, but you can play DVDs in a Blu-ray player.
What? Because aren't Blu-rays little?
No,
they're bigger.
No, they're the same size. It's just the quality that's different.
No way.
Yeah, they're the same size as a DVD. But you can play DVDs on a Blu-ray.
Well, no. To be perfectly honest, a big reason, I have lists in my head of reasons why I dislike things because naturally.
Naturally.
Yeah, it's very healthy. Very, yeah. But in my head, one of the reasons I don't like Blu-rays is because they don't fill up the whole DVD player thing. In my head, they're like small.
Oh no, it's
peculiar.
It's the normal size. Yeah.
I still don't like them.
Okay.
I don't get it. I just don't. I just do not.
It's okay.
But to be fair, I don't really buy DVDs anymore either, unless it's from like the library sale.
Yeah. Nobody does.
Snowy day. Wow.
Yeah.
We probably have all the Columbos on VHS.
Nice.
But we didn't pay for them. We record them off the TV. You used to be able to do that.
Naturally.
Mm-hmm. Who needs my ballet recitals from when I was little? Nobody. You put Columbo right over those bad boys.
You should put that on the Instagram.
What, like a pro tip? Want to forget your traumatic childhood? Tape Columbo over it.
Your ballet videos.
I don't think there are any. I think they all got taped over. Ballet was traumatic. I hated it anyway. We've been over this. The cubby thing. I hated ballet so much. Gemma loved it. I freaking hated it. But the thing we should put on my Instagram, on the whatever Instagram, put it everywhere. If I can find it. We've talked about this. My debut on the Weather Channel when I did the weather as a wow, that's classic.
It is.
Whoa, when you talk to Allie, you gotta put her. There's a video. This is embarrassing, but what's new? I swear to goodness, and I can't decide if I'm ashamed or not to admit this. In earnest, there's a video she has of her playing with her little brother Bruce when they were both really small. And if I watch it, I'll pee myself.
Okay.
From laughing. It's really gold.
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
I've talked about it a lot. It will bring joy to everyone's day.
I'm sure.
You gotta get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got plenty to talk about, so maybe let's jump in.
Okay.
I guess so. Let's get to our first review, which is The Old Guard, currently on Netflix. And yeah, I think Chloe's got the clip, so take a listen.
Who are you? You can call me Andy. I lead a group of soldiers. Fighters like you. With an extremely rare skill set.
What do you mean? Mother?
Let's just say we're very hard to kill. You've got questions, kid. You want answers?
All right. First of all,
what
so
an
sorry.
Exhausting clip.
Yeah, first of all, I'm so sorry. There's some gosh darn buzzing in my audio. I don't know why.
It's a ghost.
And we tried it from all angles. I have no idea what the problem is, so sorry.
Ghost.
Yeah, it could be. So sorry if you hear that. I'm going to do my best
You got to burn some sage.
Yeah. really don't know what the. Anyhow, let's get to the movies. All right, so The Old Guard is on Netflix now, as we mentioned. It's directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. It stars Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Matthias Schoenaerts, I think is how you say it.
What? No
Maybe.
way. Isn't it like Shonar?
That might be it. Marwan Kenzari, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Luca Marinelli.
I love him.
Yeah, he's cool.
I've seen some about, what was it, Edwin something? I don't know. I like him. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah. And the synopsis is a covert team of immortal mercenaries.
Hey, you forgot Dudley. And Dudley Dursley.
Yeah, that guy. Harry Melling, I think it is.
I think it's pronounced Dudley Dursley.
Okay. A covert team of immortal mercenaries are suddenly exposed and must now fight to keep their identity a secret, just as an unexpected new member is discovered.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, this one is the top movie on iTunes right now. It just was huge. Just blew up immediately.
What?
Oh, yeah.
On iTunes? Not Netflix?
Oh, sorry. Netflix. Sorry. I keep on saying, I was talking about Netflix originals today.
Yeah.
I kept on saying iTunes. You're right. Thank you for correcting me.
Oh, it's my favorite pastime.
All right. Well, Chloe, this was on your list. This had to be on your list. You were just
absolutely
aching.
Not. I had no idea it existed until you mentioned it.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, yeah.
What?
I'll say there's a clue in the Harry Potter character's name for how I felt about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Dud.
Oh,
I know
see.
people loved it, I guess, very popular, whatever, but I think it's the hype and the level of, I think people are desperate.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, it reminded me, it's like part 2 of that, what's his name movie? Chris Hemsworth movie. That's why, especially at the end, I said, oh, God. They're trying to be, you know those, claw machines that have, like, electronics in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix is trying to be that version of Marvel. Like, the claw machine with electronics in it version of Marvel.
Yeah.
Is that too obtuse?
Maybe. But no, I like it. So not a fan, Chloe?
There's a lot about it I just was like, what? First of all, I don't know. And I know that the author of the graphic novels, of which there are 4, I believe, wrote this. Like the movie screenplay.
Did you read them all in one night?
Heck no. This was no Annihilation. No. Sorry, Charlize. You gotta get... No. No. Because I didn't... which is, to be fair, bringing up Annihilation, which I know is not the point at all. To be fair, part of the reason I read all the books in one night is because I was desperate to understand what was going on, which is not, that is not a glowing review of the movie, to be fair. But, anyway, back to this one. No, I've never read I've never read the graphic novels, to be fair. I read part of the first one because it's free online, and I was like, okay, let's check it out. Yeah. Like, there are 4 of them, and it was already signed for, like, there's going to be a second one, probably, especially, you said it's doing well. It's a whole thing where, like, franchises where the actors sign on, if it makes this certain amount of money, then another one will be made.
Right.
Which is really common, so... I'm expecting more, but like I'm assuming they were as well. And even if not, basically what I'm saying is perhaps since there are only 4 of the graphic novels, they should just stuck like just to the first one, which I don't think was, from what I've heard, is not really the case. So I don't understand why there was so much finagling, I guess, with the story. Not that I know if that would have made it super better necessarily, but just just, no pun intended, just zero direction, I think. Like, especially when I found out that it was a graphic novel, I was like, oh.
Which, of course, you were a huge fan of Atomic Blonde, another graphic novel
yeah, that's true.
adaptation.
That's true. I love me some Atomic Blonde. But, yeah, partially because it was super stylized. Like, it was just done really well, I think. You know, it had a color palette, whatever. Like, don't get me started, because then I think about, now I'm comparing the two. And, like, the music in this movie, I said, what the... It's just...
I felt like I was watching a 50 Shades of Grey music video.
Oh, God, it was brutal. The whole thing was especially they dared to use music by my boy, the
Frank
love
Ocean.
of my life, Frank Ocean. And I said, how very dare? How? Because when I heard that, I said, oh, maybe it'll get better. Maybe this is like but no, So that was the only highlight, was I had little, like, 30-second karaoke times in my house for, like, a fifth of the songs they chose. The rest were, I don't know them, but they're just so... Let me back up. Except not really. Don't worry. It's a minor backup. My biggest... Okay, you know I say this all the time just because it's kind of counter to, I think, how I come off. Like, I don't go into things wanting to dislike them. I don't. I actively want there to be more things in the world that make me happy. Trust me. But with this, I was like, okay, like, at least it was an original idea, like an interesting idea. Because we do have movies like that where we're like, but at least it's like innovate. Like, that was like the one thing about Ad Astra. I was like, okay, it's a cool kind of original thing. Like, if it was a book, I would have read it, but like not like this, right? But then when I found out it was a graphic novel, I was like, oh, okay, so this just has nothing like to its name at all. You know what I mean? It's like it inherited all its money from its grandpa. You know?
Sure.
Which, that doesn't count.
Chloe, if I may stop you, I realized why I couldn't hear the buzzing. It's because of our remote setup. Yeah. My audio is being fed through a different system than what it usually is. And so usually I can hear if there's buzzing or not. Wow. It's because of the remote thing. Gosh darn it.
I'm so glad we cracked that code, Henry.
I'm so embarrassed.
I feel like we're in an escape room and we just got out. Except stay inside.
Yeah. Anyway, continue. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. But also I'm sorry because now you're in that's even a worse place to be, I feel like.
Yes.
You know, like after you've gotten your math test back and you're like, crap, I got this super wrong. I just don't even know. I thought I got it right. And then they do it on because of good teachers. Like, okay, anyone want me to work through any? Or you're like, yes, please. This number 6. And then they're like, they're numbered on, I haven't been in school for a while. They number questions on math tests, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So anyway, like, sure. Number 6. And then she's like, oh yeah, just bloop, bippity boppity boo. And you're like, oh duh. And they're even more mad. Because you're like, I could have done that.
What sucks even more so is I don't know why it's buzzing though. I know why I couldn't hear it in my headphones. Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
Well, Henry, I don't know who thought of math. Like, I don't know why that's a solid thing all of a sudden. That's not, like, people just, like, it's just people decided to do that in the world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not totally stupid. Like, I get that there's, but certain things, I'm like, PEMDAS, like, that's human made, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's just made up stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, Chloe, any more initial thoughts or?
Yes.
Okay.
But then I'm almost done. Basically, like I said, trying to give it the benefit of, like, the ideas and everything being good or whatever. But then the movie, every part of the movie felt so, like, the word is not uninspired. Like, the word is, like weak. Like, you could tell that they were like, yeah, we're making the best movie. It feels like The Room, okay? It's like, we're making the best movie ever. And it's like, no, this is really not so good. Like,
it's too bad we reviewed Logan already. This would have been
a great comparison. A great Man, this is just like, Oh, it's so upsetting to me because it should have been a lot better. Like, I don't know how, but you can figure it out. Like, this is not my kind of deal. Like, what I'm saying that bothered me the most is, like, technically, it's just poorly constructed, number one. Like, there's so much about it that's just bad. Like, there's a lot of telling not showing, which I kind of get.
Yeah.
Because, and they try to fix it by that. But it's so typical, like, overdone in that kind of way. Like, okay, Harry doesn't know anything about the wizarding world, okay? So Hagrid's like, come with me, boo-boo. This means this, that's that, da, da. But then he's like, okay, I'm here. And that is the very first bit of the movie. This movie is like a Kiki Lane Niall. It's like, imagine she's in Diagon Alley the entire movie being like, what's that? And Hagrid's just like, boo, that's just ice cream.
I actually wouldn't mind that. I would watch that.
The whole movie's Diagon Alley?
Yeah.
No, you would not.
I mean, I don't want that to be like a feature, like Harry Potter entry, but I would, if that existed, I would watch it.
You know what I would love?
What's that?
And again, we should say, I'm with Danny Rad on this one. Trans lives matter and all that, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But since we're in this world, let me say they should do a Harry Potter. I would love it if it was a Diagon Alley undercover boss series.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
Like if Ollivander, like walked around like he like tied shoes to his knees and walked around and was like dyed his hair or whatever, and it's like, I'm just coming here. Puberty, what's that?
Maybe HBO Max could get that going.
That'd be aces.
Yeah.
But anyway, it just felt like so disjointed. And again, I feel like they were really into it. Like the people making it, that said, it's just bad. There's like no vision. So I appreciate that the energy was there, but that's about where it ends. Like we're saying, none of it fits. Like there was no, which is especially surprising coming from a graphic novel. You'd think, you'd have a lot of you should have a couple Pinterest boards, okay? A couple, so much inspiration can be drawn, a color palette, a freaking soundtrack that actually goes together. Like, what are you offering up here? I feel like they just did not know.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's like when in elementary school field trips, to be fair, did you have any?
I had more middle school ones than...
I didn't have any middle school ones.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot.
Really? See, it's so weird. No, okay, so I went to a nice elementary school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they found out that we weren't in the district and they kicked me out of the nice one. Because,
Shoot.
Shout out to the Goldstein family. Y'all suck. What do you care? What do they care? Because my dad moved, so I was no longer in the... But it was 5th grade. And so they're like, yeah, like you stay for one more year, right? Because I had a very kind guidance counselor who was like, yeah, it's okay. Right? And then this freaking lady, Goldstein, who her thing is she likes to do that egg burning thing, which is actually pretty cool. But she's like all about like the dog shows. She's like, so dog show lady comes in here for no reason. And it's like, yo, that 10-year-old needs to go, which is like, okay, so that's rude. So anyway, yeah.
Huh.
And then she said something rude about my mother's glasswork, and my mom didn't say anything because, she's so nice. So she's like, right? It was like a couple years ago, so she had no idea who we were because, fine.
Yeah.
And then I was like, then I said something, but not super rude, but you know what I mean. What was I talking about?
Oh, yeah.
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 What was I talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, so we had lots of field trips in my nice school. We didn't have really any except literally going to Churton Street was our field trip in 5th grade, which is, you can imagine, which, for the listeners out there, the main street in every, like, Hallmark movie or whatever with, like, the coffee shop and the whatever, that's Churton Street, basically. And
Yes.
that was our field trip. was
Nice. Best
literally a block away from school, basically where everyone lives. Like, it's like, okay, great. But in any case, but you know how in those nice field trips at Sewell, they were just, you could say the person you wanted, like you get your one person, which is actually very depressing, I guess. Now that I think about it, it's not cool for people who didn't, because you had to match. So like Kaylee and I were like the persons, right?
Oh yeah, I never had a good match, buddy.
No.
No.
That's sad, Henry.
I was actually bullied a fair bit in elementary school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
It was.
They call you any names?
Actually,
What?
I was actually bullied. Think of it. I was actually bullied throughout middle school as well.
No way.
Yeah, because I went to a private middle school. I know, gross. And I didn't get, at the time, I changed after high school.
Yeah.
I didn't get good grades. And so everybody thought of me as like a total idiot.
That's so sad.
Even though I destroyed on the baseball team. People were loving me whenever I was out on the field. But
Dang.
back in the classroom, people were, they were vicious.
That's so sad, Henry.
But hey, I got straight A's after that. So I guess that they motivated me.
No. That's
I'm
not
kidding. I'm kidding.
Best revenge is your paper.
Yeah, but
To quote Beyonce.
Yeah,
Dang, that's so sad, Henry.
it's okay.
Wow. Well, I got accused of having horns and killing Jesus often. And then in middle school, it was, my nickname was Cyborg because of my metal leg, which is quite rude, but
Yeah, very rude.
jokes on them because.
Yeah, we have a podcast now, Chloe.
Yes, suck it.
What did they got?
But I also, saying all that, I didn't really get bullied though. Is that weird to feel like? Maybe I'm just like in denial.
I don't know if that's weird to feel like. No,
I think it just didn't bother me. I was like, okay, idiots. Because I've always been super, narcissistic and full of myself. So, yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm back to my now. Deep also, Henry.
So sorry about
I
this,
care
everybody.
about you. So I'm sorry that you had to deal with that.
And if you're new, welcome. We hope you stay.
And if you're bullied, just tell them to suck it because who cares?
Email us about it.
You really should.
Yeah. The
You
Film
really
Buds
can.
Podcast
We won't.
at gmail.com.
We're not going to read it on here or anything, but you really can talk to us. That's
I wouldn't read it on here, but
we're really here. We're here for you.
Yeah, I chat with people, so feel free.
Yeah, ask him his favorite ice cream flavor. I still don't know because I never wrote in. So
yeah.
Anyway, let me get back.
I don't know if anybody does actually.
What?
I mean, it's nothing weird. And anyways,
My guess is pistachio, but nah, because I feel like you like things. Like, I don't think this is it, but like Rocky Road. Like, I feel like you like things.
You're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
It's not Rocky Road?
No, but it's got stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know any more ice cream flavors except for the Ben & Jerry's Bernie flavor, but
right.
Anyway. What?
It's great to see
let me
you,
get to this analogy over here. Okay, ready? Oh God. Okay. So basically, Kaylee and I feel bad saying this now, got paired up, right? Because we were each other's people. But then it was like everyone's pairs were just, put in a hat and mumble jumbled, right? So there was someone there who was like, it's us. You and me, kid, right?
Yeah.
But then there's all this other
Humphrey Bogart,
who are all also in their own like little things, but like you know what I mean? So that's what this movie felt like. If it got away from us there.
Yeah.
Dang.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I'll start.
Yeah, take over, please. Dear Lord.
I didn't know about the movie up until I think it came out. I just heard about it like destroying the charts on Netflix or iTunes, tomato.
Tomato.
Yeah, potato,
yeah.
whatever. I love Charlize Theron. My favorite film is Mad Max: Fury Road. And
I should say she's so good in this. She's good in everything. It's crazy.
She is.
Which is another part of the weird, like that. I'm so sorry, Henry.
No,
The acting is wildly all over the place. Like, some people are great, some people are terrible, and it's like this big jumble. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been better if everyone was bad, is how I feel, than what it was.
Yeah. I love her as an action star. I think she's one of the best by far of anybody out there.
She's in a Brand Flowers music video.
Is she?
Crossfire. You should watch it.
I will.
She's an action hero in it.
Hey,
She
it
saves
suits
him.
her.
He's the damsel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll check it out. Now, Chloe, what did you think of the new Killers song, "The Soul's Warning"?
So good.
I think that's my favorite of their new ones.
It's so good. Hey, the album's
Yeah.
coming out August 20.
Oh, nice. Coming up. Coming
out soon.
Anyhow, yeah, I thought I was very worried by the trailer. I thought it looked so generic and boring. I was like, I made a mistake, Chloe. I'm so sorry. And
I feel
then
like
I
it's
said,
like The Mummy. I never seen The Mummy, but
oh, it's a classic film.
Huh.
I like superhero fantasy kind of mercenary films. You talked about Extraction, and I didn't love that, but I'm perfectly up for a movie like that. I enjoy war films and soldier-esque stories. I thought the first 30 to 40 minutes, I was really dreading the rest of it. I was not.
you thought it got better?
I did.
You're losing it.
Yeah.
You're losing it. What, you watch
I
it backwards like a freaking Beatles album? I cannot.
I may try that.
Are you kidding?
No, I thought the opening 30 or 40 minutes, I thought it was incredibly boring and poorly written. But then, not to say that the plot itself is good, because it's very standard, generic stuff.
Very.
I thought it got more confident as it went along, and I actually thought the last hour was solid.
What?
Yeah,
That's
I really enjoyed some of the character dynamics. I thought it, even with that being said, I did find it took itself way too seriously at times, and it's like laughably so.
Also, it bothers me. We've been over this. It's like a pet peeve of mine. So I'm sorry to everyone, but we've been over that. Like you said, it takes itself really seriously, and it
which I can get behind. I'm not someone who's hating on a dark fantasy film, but in this case,
yeah, no, exactly.
The execution was off.
Exactly. No, yeah, and the dialogue wasn't there. Yeah, if you ask me, which apparently a lot of it was directly from the graphic novel. So I'm like, maybe I'll skip the rest of those. But
yeah,
but the thing that bothered me, because took itself extremely seriously, and like you said, the confidence and everything. And one of my pet peeves is like the stuff with the history where they like, I
don't love that
happy
either.
change butterfly effect. Like,
yeah,
do not show me real pictures or reference real things that happened, because actual people did everything they could to ensure those things happened.
That irks me as well.
That pissed me right off.
Yeah, the biggest one that I think I talked about on the Watchmen review is the Watchmen movie, where one of the Watchmen is the kills JFK.
Yeah,
and it's like that stuff I don't like, even if it's stuff
that was the government, y'all. Sorry, but that is actually true. I don't doubt it. And Bobby Kennedy, because he was about to save the country. I love Bobby Kennedy, in case you didn't know.
Oh yeah,
and MLK.
Yeah, they're all good. Yeah, they're great.
Sorry, everyone. Hot take, but it's just the truth. Don't at me.
I don't know if it's yeah. I agree though, Chloe. I don't love that stuff.
Oh, I hate it because it's so rude. Like, it's so dismissive, and do freaking not. You know what I mean? It's like they got a picture of Charlize Theron teaching Marcel Marceau how to mime. Like, I don't think so. Okay, it's so annoying.
Well, was that in there?
No.
Oh.
No. And if it was, I missed it. And now this, what I'm about to say, I hear y'all. I hear you. It's extremely nitpicky. Like, I hear it. I hear how nitpicky this is. But may I bring to your attention that the core group, the four of them, who are all the ones who are in the pictures, except for the one painting of Charlize and her man who, passed. all the pictures is literally white savior. So I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
That's the T.
Fair.
Sorry. It just is the way it is. Okay? It just is.
Mm-hmm. No, fair enough.
So that is irritating. Also, let's swap one woman for another woman. Like Charlize Theron, I did not respect this, to be honest with you. And I think some people, they're up their own, tushies too much to actually, remember what things actually mean, okay? Like, Brie Larson, you're a queen. You actually pay attention. Charlize Theron, I'm starting to wonder. Because she's
yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, I want to be in this movie because there's two strong females in the movie, whatever, right? I'm like, girl, look, that should not be. Your bar is so low, so incredibly low. Okay? Wow. It just really bothered me. Oh, yeah. And it's the same with the critics pissing me off. Because it's all about, but again, I said this before, people forget the, power we have as the consumer, as it were. You know what I mean? That's the only reason Walmart started selling freaking organic food, not because they believe in organic food. Obviously, they don't even believe in paying their workers. They only did it because organic foods became the thing, right? So it's the same with this. So when I see Charlize Theron saying that, even though it's not nearly equal representation at all, right? And you can't be normal. You can't be normal in this movie as the woman. You have to be the boss, the queen, or the prodigal son. It's daughter,
that's a good point.
Whatever, yeah. Which is oh my God. And the same thing with the reviews and stuff, and everyone's clapping because there's two men who love each other. Wow! Well done.
Crazy.
Dear God. Very annoying to me. Very.
Yeah. No, that's understandable.
So there's just lots of that stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree with you. Which it's not great, and I don't support that for sure. But I think from a more shallow standpoint, just the some of the action, and I enjoyed the build, the final building skyscraper action sequence. I thought that was quite solid.
That's crazy to me that you liked the end more than the beginning. I think that's a hot take. I think it is.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. I felt like it got more confident as it went along.
Confident, and while I agree with.
And while it didn't totally hit all the marks, I still was much more engaged by the last hour than I was the first.
Me too, because I was like, we're almost there. It's almost over.
Yeah, it did feel long. I will say that.
The best parts for me with the action stuff was when, well, actually just the whole movie, because I didn't want to just sit there and listen around the campfire to these people's an oral history of this little quartet of people. Mm-hmm. Very irritating. But the parts that had me the most were the group action scenes, for sure. And you could see how they work together. The choreography was really cool. You saw how they worked together and everything like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I liked the scene with the store clerk.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I like the messages, and I totally appreciate it, but also absolutely not. And again, I was really disappointed with Kiki Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought her acting was terrible. I thought, and we because she was in If Beale Street Could Talk, which is one of my faves, as we know, right? And she kind of irritated me. And I think we talked about it. She kind of irritated me in that too. She was not my. But I thought it was an innocence, a kind of naivety that was going along, and the way she spoke and everything. But now I'm just oh no, she's just not a good actress. Okay, great. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I thought she was really bad. I thought she was the standout bad. I thought she was terrible.
Really? I really didn't like the villain in this.
Dudley?
No.
But that one I think is more the character. It was so underdeveloped.
Yeah, I liked Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's
so good.
He's solid.
He was so underutilized.
One thing with the villains, though, I'm fine with a movie like this having just a bad villain. I don't need it necessarily to have multiple dimensions, but whether it's the performance or the writing or a combination of it, I just didn't like having him on screen.
No, I think it's the writing.
Yeah, it was maybe just too unrelatable, too hateful for this kind of movie.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's just that, because lots of times with villains in these movies, you're like, oh, this villain is crazy. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And it's engaging in that way. In this, I was just like, I was dreading cutting back to him.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be with, even if it wasn't amazing, I wanted to be with the main group as opposed to him. Because I just didn't really care at all about it's such a tired
Exactly, because it also
of these. Yeah,
I think a part of it is like, it was like, ugh, I just don't feel like it. Not like, oh my god, he's so annoying. I think like the better thing would have been, oh my god, he's so annoying. Like I cannot even look at him. But like they didn't try at all. There was no like, for lack of a better example, there was no like, my father will hear about this. Like there was no background. He just like somehow was the CEO of a gigantic 90-story pharmaceutical company, even though he's like 30 and everything, which is like, okay, all right. But like, there's just nothing there. And then the whole thing with the science is just like BS. Like, just leave it out then. You know what I mean? Also, like, that's not new. That's in literally every show. Like, have you heard of True Blood? Like, we been through this. Okay.
Yeah. It's very X-Men in that way too.
Ugh. Like, it's just so bad. And like, yeah, like I literally feel like I've seen that little lab room a million times. It's like that swimming pool. Like, I've been in that room too many times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ugh. And, the other thing with it is, speaking of like other movies, it's like just watered down little elements of other crap. But like, they were saying that the thing that was like, that they thought was innovative hadn't been done before, whatever. And this was kind of sad. I'm not trying to hate, but like the author said this too, and I'm like, oh, okay, because he was like, yeah, I don't think we've been given like so much time for like he was like, immortality is nothing new, like a new story, but like these characters really have all these different opinions about what it means to have lived forever and are grappling and like conversing about whatever, which I don't think has really, like been done, whatever. And I was like, girl, you're making me call out the Twilight books as being better than this. Like literally, those are the books. There's like 1,000 family. It's like a big old family reunion therapy session where one's like, "Oh yeah, I love being undead," and the other one's like, "I don't like it. I'm lonely," whatever, like that. It's like, no, literally, Twilight did it better than you. Okay, which for me is not a high bar.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right. Well.
And it just looked bad. Dang.
I didn't think it looked that bad. It didn't look amazing, but I didn't think it looked bad necessarily. It just looked like a Netflix movie, which, that's
bad. Yeah.
Mostly not great.
Because when I was watching it, and you're very kind and forgiving and see the good and everything, okay, right? But like I was watching this, I was thinking about if it was something that I would have seen in theaters, and I would have been pissed if I saw this in theaters.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been extremely bored. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Especially coming from a graphic novel. Like, there was no style. Like, it just didn't taste like anything. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah. I agree with the stuff you said. I still, on a surface level, though, I still found it fairly entertaining. And it's not, maybe it's just because I had such low expectations, but there were definitely parts of it that I was much more engaged than I thought I would be.
Oh.
And while it's by no means the best of the year in any way, I still, as an action movie, I thought it was all right at times.
I have 2 more things to crap on it about. Is that okay?
Please.
And they're both ways in which it's a sequel to what's that movie? Thor.
I don't know.
Racism Planet. What's that movie?
What?
The one with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, Extraction?
Yeah. The other ways it's like Extraction Part is one, nobody needed, I don't know if it was in the graphic novels, I don't know whose idea this was. We do not need any more reinforcements of bad stereotypes. Like, guess what, y'all? America should not be where they were in this movie, okay? Don't try to act like they're the heroes and the whole thing with like, and the women are like, oh, thank you so much for being here, like whatever. And then like, okay? I understand there are terrorists there are terrorists here too, terrorists everywhere. That said, I don't need to see it for the 1,000 gazillion billionth time that apparently America is perfect and going and like being a hero and saving all these communities, okay? They just want their oil, okay? Bushy, that's it. You know? Like, that's really annoying to me. It was so unnecessary. Literally just do anything else, you know? Like, literally anything.
Yeah.
You know? Oh,
I get you.
That was incredibly annoying. Lord. And then also the whole thing with, like, the girls who were kidnapped and everything, and it was, like, a thing. Remember at the very beginning, whatever? Yeah. That, you do not deserve to have that as a plot point. Like, just make it about some freaking, like, nuclear weapon or something someone stole. Like, do not put actual... Like, this movie does not deserve that as a little plot point. Not for 1 second. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Especially, like, these are real... these are real problems. Like... It's a nightmare. Yeah. So to do that is like, I think it's just super wrong. Because even if the characters have the right, like, the characters, sure, they think they're doing that, right? But you know better, right? You control the world. Make it a freaking James Bond nuclear weapon or something, right? That's destructive too. I'm sure they wouldn't want that in the wrong hands, okay? Like, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That just really, it's just like all that. And again, like the war stuff, the army stuff, like, we need to stop with the, like, Clint Eastwood's on the phone. He wants to, I don't know, give you a chair. But, like, you know what I mean? Just very irritating to me. Okay. Yeah. And then the other thing that bothered me, this is totally different. All right. The ending, can we not put something out on the Netflix YouTube channel or even on Netflix as, like, a little, like, guess who's back in, like, a couple months? Like, just put that scene, like, they have this huge streaming platform. They have they can do so much, like, free advertising, basically. Like, just, you know how when you go on Netflix, it plays something that thinks you'll like, and it eventually gets extremely annoying? Yeah, like, just put that last scene, just, like, pop it up for, like, a day on Netflix, and then there'll be tons of buzz and interest anyway. You know? Mm-hmm. But, like, at the end is so cheap. Just like Extraction. Like, it's so cheap. Yeah. And it's also super obvious what they're trying to do next. You know? Some anti-hero team up mumbo jumbo. Yeah. Couldn't give a crap.
All right, well, I had out of 5, Chloe. It's 3.5 for me.
Okay, I don't know where this came from, but it just came into my head. Should I? Please. Okay, it's super, like, I don't know where this came from. Okay, so I have I have the image of just, like, walking down the street in your little Converse, okay, right? But you're on...
Love it, yeah.
But, and a piece of gum gets stuck to your shoe, and you're like, shoot. You don't really react, okay? It's just and it's pink gum, okay? Pink gum stuck to your shoe, okay? Glob. Like, somebody was a little greedy with their pieces. Also, people... Was probably me. If you want a moment, if you want to do a little thing you can do, stop chewing gum. Because guess what? That's going to be here forever. You're just chewing on plastic, okay? You're sticking a straw in your mouth every time you chew a piece of gum. But anyway, but also live your best life. And I know it's a tough time, so, you know, do what you can. So, anyway. So, piece of gum on your shoe. Huge little nasty thing, right? And it's, like, got stuff on it, you know what I mean? Not tons, but it's got nasty. Like, it was on the side, you know, and it's got your shoe stuff as well. But you pick it off, you take it off, right? And you don't know why you do it. It's like you're sleepwalking, but you just stick it in your mouth and start chewing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, let's move on.
What do you give it?
I gave it a 3.5.
Oh, again, that happened? I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, well, let's get into our retro review, which is The Man with the Iron Fists from 2012.
Yeah.
And we do have a clip as well.
Take a listen. Don't try to understand what's going on, but take a listen.
Yeah, take a listen.
祝你的身体安美。
God bless you. To my illness.
Cheers. An English gent.
The gentlest.
Are you military?
How long did you spend in France?
Long enough to recognize a man of refined tastes. You've come to the right place to rest your bones.
Merci, madame, but I'm not here for rest. I should like a private room with a bath, a view over the main road, a bottle of that liquor, and 3 of your finest.
Only 3. Settled.
Now, to start with, I don't want to appear greedy.
A man with much chi.
Okay, The Man with the Iron Fists is directed by RZA, and I guess co-written by as well.
Oh, RZA.
Yeah. And it stars Russell Crowe, Kung Lee, RZA as well, Rick Yoon,
Lucy Liu.
Liu, Dave Bautista, Jamie Chung, Daniel Wu. I guess that's about it.
Jamie Chung looks so young in this movie. It is crazy to me.
And the synopsis is, on the hunt for a fabled treasure of gold, a band of warriors, assassins, and a rogue British soldier descend upon a village in feudal China where a humble blacksmith looks to defend himself and his fellow villagers.
Wow.
Yeah.
To be honest,
And
that synopsis for once sounds better than the movie.
it's not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is co-written and produced by Eli Roth as
I think
well.
you mean ruined by Eli Roth, but we'll get there.
Could be. I don't know if it was his fault
I
necessarily.
know the T.
But, okay.
Uh-huh.
And now it does say Quentin Tarantino presents, but he does not have a producer credit or anything. It's purely the name, which is
Isn't that irritating?
suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe, you suggested that we talk about this one.
Yeah.
Would you like to start, or
No, you go for it. Because you came into it, you hadn't seen it? Or had you seen
I
it?
had?
You had seen
I had
it?
seen it.
Oh,
Mhm.
dang. All right. Well,
Yeah.
you big Wu-Tang Clan fan?
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes, I'm always up
Yeah.
for it.
Well, it makes sense. Like, they talk about kung fu movies and stuff, like, all the time in their stuff. So just kind of, it makes sense. I'm not saying it's good, but it's also, like, fairly of the time. It's, like, a little late to the party for such a genre kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But has a lot of heart. It's like the opposite of the old guard to me.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like the visuals are on point. You could, whatever. Pretty really cool, very inspired, cool shots and everything. Good ideas, like really good ideas and everything, but then it's kind of like Boggle. It's like someone's new round of Boggle.
Sure. Yeah, I had seen this when it came out, not in theaters, but I saw it at some point because I like martial arts movies. I'm always up for one.
My
why
sister
not?
loved this movie. I don't know the last time she watched it though.
Yeah, I guess I can go ahead and say it. When I saw it, I didn't like it, and I sadly don't like it now. I find it's kind of what you were saying about the old guard. I find it very poorly constructed. I find there's so much style, but nothing fits together.
Clunky.
Yeah, nothing fits together, and it's trying to be Tarantino and inject all these like modern vibes to it and style. But
I don't think it's trying to be Tarantino. But other than that, I'm with you.
I got even just the opening credits. I thought it was very Tarantino, Kill Billy kind of.
That I'll agree. And technically in the lore and their little world, it ties into the Kill Bill. She's like the great grandmother of the, what is it called? The bride or whatever. It's like that whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm with you though. But it speaks to the tea will, it'll be revealed in the tea leaves. All
right. And now with RZA, has he done anything else? Any other movies?
Yeah, Man, the Iron Fist with the Iron Fist too.
Okay.
There's a second one.
There is?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He has been here and there. He has.
Oh, yeah.
Like Repo Man and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of connection to him really for the most part.
Yeah.
in short, I just find the middle in particular to be very poorly paced. I find it's very incoherent. As you were saying, kind of like cool camera shots. I think they're a little gimmicky. I don't really like the slow-mo, things like that. It kind of, it just,
I think that's
it
like
just doesn't really feel authentic to me at all.
My favorite, I liked the Paul Newman, Joe. Oh, I feel terrible. I just forgot her last name. Joanna. What's her last name? Whatever. Paul Newman and his wife. I'm really sorry. I love you both very much. Equally. But anyway. But like when they're like doing that thing, like that the famous like, I can't remember, whatever. That whole thing. And when it's looking down from above and it's spinning the carpet and everything? Mm-hmm. I love that. No?
I'm not saying it's without any good moments. It's just that overall, I find it very boring, and I don't think anybody is really good in this. I love Lucy Liu, and I think she's fine in it, but the performances, they aren't. I can accept something if it's bad performances, but it feels self-aware. They did not feel self-aware to me. What? It just felt like weak performances.
For real?
Yeah. So and it just made everything else feel that less inauthentic to me. So
it's funny.
Less.
Yeah.
Less authentic. Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like the reverse of the usual with us. Like to me, it's almost like Moulin Rouge. Like it's so stylized and genre heavy, and like I love that stuff. And it kind of excuses. I don't think it took itself too seriously. I think some of the ways it felt like it did might have been like the style homages to like the classic kung fu movies and just Asian cinema in general. Like, but it's like, almost like two, like magnets, like two positive magnets, like with the modern like genre bending, like, Wu-Tang Clan kind of like style mixed in there. So like I see where you're coming from, but that's almost why it worked for me. Like it's like to me it's like if a kid like opened up a comic book and then like imagined the movie of that comic book, it would be like this. Like,
okay.
Which isn't particularly here nor there, but like at least it's interesting, and I like the over the top. I really like the over the top movie style when I think it's like the vibe. Like I don't think.
I agree. I'm there. I just don't think it was done well. Man. Like I'm fine with an over the top movie like this. That's not an issue. It's just that I don't think the execution was there for me. Yeah.
Well, now let me make all my little excuses for it. So Reza made the movie, right? Like originally, like he wrote it, he this, he that, right? Like everything. It was like his baby. And again, it goes with a lot of it like makes sense that he would have made this movie. Like it fits in with, all that he's built up and the world he's kind of created in and of itself, right? So with the movie, it's kind of like an extension of that space, which I think is cool because it shows that he made that space, like for himself and for, people who, feel embraced by, his other work. So in that way, just off the bat, I think it's pretty cool. But I think maybe the biggest issue, like this was his directorial debut and everything, right? And like you said, like Eli Roth got involved and then like Quentin Tarantino put his name on it, whatever. I almost feel like, because again, he created that space, right? Which I think speaks to the fact that like it being a new space, maybe it's like the first day you wear a pair of shoes, like you get blisters kind of thing. Like I feel like he was almost bracing for that. Maybe that lack of confidence or self-assuredness was there because they came in and changed, like I'm sure he asked for the help and everything, right? But then it just like became a lot. So originally, and hold it. But originally the cut was 4 hours, which we hear a lot. right?
Okay. And now I will say I did watch last night. There's the unrated extended cut.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what the differences are between the two, but
Do you think it's better?
to be fair, I remember so little about
Fair enough.
the original. I couldn't say.
Yeah. But the point being, especially with, again, like, he's there because he made that space. It's his story. It's his whatever. And people who love Wu-Tang Clan see the movie and everything like that, and also kind of know, like, it's not from out of left field and everything like that, right? And I just wish that it'd been left at, like, 4 hours, maybe, which I know sounds crazy, but that's the vibe. Like, this movie is not, it's not like a blockbuster movie. Do you know? I mean, could have been, but do you know what I mean? It was. Yeah. I feel like it was made by the people for the people. Like I don't know how to explain that better. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't think of one right now. I guess that's kind of the point. It's like I wish there maybe a couple more, but in any case, the point being, I wish that it had just been kind of like left alone. And he wanted, and then he was like, okay, no 4 hour movie, fine. Like, can we just split it in two? Which, like, yeah, let's Back to the Future this baby. Like, you know what I mean? Cause, they shot those. Like, and I just think that would have been a lot better because at least we would have gotten, like, the full vision. Like, you don't know the characters' backstories, whatever, which I feel like RZA probably worked really hard on. And they're interesting. Like, at least they're interesting and new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they very well combine cultures and everything in a respectful way and everything. I think it's really cool. Like his little backstory there, which again is very Kung Fu movie-esque. And it seems to me like he had that for like every character. Like the whole thing with the Black Widow, for example, we're all like, what? But I feel like that was there in the original cut. Do you know what I mean? So like, it just really bothers me. I feel like Eli Roth, who we all know I have a tumultuous relationship with anyway, like came in and was like, oh yeah, I got you. And then he just like totally was like, slashed it to pieces.
It could have been. That seems like much more of like a studio thing than an Eli Roth thing.
No way.
What makes you think it's Eli Roth who did that? Eli Roth is he's an indulgent director. I mean, he's not
but
someone
of his
who says
own stuff. I
don't
know
see why he would.
I know that Eli Roth was the one who was like, we got to cut it to an hour and a half.
Okay.
Like, it was literally him personally. And, like, RZA left during editing for, like, 2 weeks because he was so upset. Yeah.
Well,
and it would be different in this day and age. It'd be so much easier if he could have just put out the 4 hour thing online, Like, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I would like to see what the original cut looks like. From a filmmaking or from a release standpoint, I don't think it maybe should have been an hour and a half, but I understand what Eli Roth was saying. I don't know what was cut, but like
I think like literally all the backstory was cut. I really do.
Well, even if his decisions were off, I understand him wanting to do that. I mean, if I had loved the 4 hour cut, I wouldn't, as a producer, I would not say, let's keep it.
But 2 movies.
But
they already had all the stuff. It's not like they would have raised the budget a ton. They already had they had it all.
Yeah.
And Harry Potter did it. I know it's different. I know it's obviously very different. But to be fair, it's like solid fan base and everything. Like they're gonna go back. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they literally, Deathly Hallows, they just like stopped it in the middle.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like it could have been back to back. Again, I feel like that would have been fine. Like back.
It could have been, but if you look at something like, because it took years to get the financing for it, and it's like if you look at the budget was, I don't know, like 15 million, and then it made like 20 million for a movie like that, with maybe potentially studios projecting how much it's going to make. I can understand them not doing 2. It could have been cool as 2 movies in a perfect world, and I would happily watch that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think with you can have that with a $200 million movie. That's a sure bet for success, but
that's so
I can
lame, though. And also, like, I'm not a financier, obviously. I don't know crap about, so, you know.
Nor do I.
People can shove their little Jewish stereotypes up their cabooses, because I have no idea.
Sure.
Right? But, like, I feel, like I said, like, they basically, like, I know advertising and stuff costs money and everything, right? Fine. Like, I get that, okay. But I feel like they did, like, a vast majority of the expenses had been already, you know, done. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, they had all the footage and everything.
Yeah.
And they could have, again, you know, what do I know? But I feel like, and again, even if the movie was made maybe a couple years later, things would have been totally different. Who knows? But they could have tied it with, like, you know, really done, like, a ridiculous soundtrack, like The Great Gatsby tried to do, like, but, like, done it well, like, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's such a lost opportunity, and it just kind of sucks to see someone's vision.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just, you know, even thinking of, like, something like The Wolf of Wall Street, like, that was 4 hours, and it was cut down to 3-4 theaters. And, like, not that it's totally the same thing, but, like, with this movie, you know, lots of times the advertising can be the same amount as the budget. And so it's like, you know, I could see studio execs being like, I don't think it's already going to make that much money.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm okay with it. Not saying that's what I would prefer. It's just that it's understandable for a small directorial debut to be cut down to a small.
Yeah, I hear that. But again, for better or worse, like it's his directorial debut. However, he's like a king. Like, it's not like he doesn't have, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, social media wasn't as much a thing, but I feel like it could have been done. And that's why I was saying, like, tying it with, like,
I
new
agree.
tracks or something like that. Like, I just feel like something could have been. I just wish it was more confident in its conviction, especially with, like, RZA and everything, like, sticking Quentin Tarantino's name on it and, like, getting Eli Roth involved. It just, like, upsets me. I'm upset by it.
No, I'm with you there.
And especially, like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like, it's like a whole world, like you're talking about Wolf of Wall Street being really long stuff. Like, I think genre, again, has, like, a lot to play there. Like, that's a story in a world we already know with people that remind us of people we know. Like, it's all we know, right? But like, Man with the Iron Fist is like a whole landscape that we don't really get to journey through, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another thing that makes the difference, where the duration would have been more, palatable, because it's like, wow, so much stuff. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, I think it could have been an interesting movie, and if that ever came out, I would happily watch it.
Yeah.
I as sad as it is to say, I can just get where someone like Eli Roth, who has been making films for a long time and knowing how things work, saying, no, we need to cut it. Even if it sucks, even if his choices weren't right in terms of what they chose to cut, I can get behind what he's saying. But that doesn't make the end product. I just don't think it's
his place. I think it was crappy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he's a lead producer, I don't know if it's that strange. But
I don't know.
I mean, they're the one financing it.
I know, but he also stuck his name on it because he thought maybe that'd help it make money or something. Like, I don't know. It just really rubs me the wrong way, honestly. Like, if you believe in a project, like, if you're properly excited for it and believe in it, like, let it happen then. Stay out of it. Like, you know?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So, it just kind of, to me, it's just, like, sad. It's just, like, a lost opportunity in a lot of ways. Because there's so much cool stuff there, like the characters and everything. Like, and I know this is very me, but it would have been cool as, like, a mini-series or even, like, an animated series or something. It's just, like, you know?
Mm-hmm. And
in some ways, I think it was kind of, like, technically and skill-wise and maybe execute all that stuff, RZA was for sure a first-timer and, like, whatever. But as far as the ideas and everything, it sucks because I feel like the project was just, like, ahead of its time, for sure. which just sucks, you know? Like, the closest thing then was probably freaking Heroes, like, on, you know what I mean? As opposed to now, like, Watchmen, for instance. Like, there are just a lot of cool ideas there.
Yeah.
So, poo.
Yeah.
Sad.
It's...
Sad face over here.
It's a shame for sure. Even without that all being said, it's just, I don't think it's a great movie, but I still would like to see that longer cut, as we said. One thing about the movie specifically, I really wish they would have cut more of that narration. I think there's way too much, and it's not really delivered well.
Think about probably why it was all put in there. Because they cut out everything.
I'm not trying to change that. It's just that with what's there.
Yeah.
You know, that's...
I wholly agree.
That's my issue.
But I think it all comes from the same place, you know? Also, get rid of Russell Crowe. No one needs that.
He's not great.
And no one needs that energy either. Like, oh, you know, oh, God, get him out of there.
Yeah.
Or make him bad. I'll take one or the other, but no.
All right. Anything else about the film?
No.
All right. Well, out of 5, Chloe, it's a 2.5 for me.
Well, okay. Bear with me. Also, I don't, for a long time, long time, probably since I hit double digits, I would say, 0 balloons and stuff at parties and everything because, you know, the environment. Really. I love balloons.
Right.
They're my favorite thing. We've been over this. I love balloons, but also I understand that it's bad. So, no balloons, which is more strength than I've ever used for anything in my life. Seriously. I'll yell at people, which is bad, in parking lots, but no balloons. So anyway, but bar that, so you know how Harris Teeter has had... Did you ever go to Harris Teeter? I'm not trying to call you a bumpkin over here.
Every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, Harris Teeter...
It's just not... It's not near me, so I don't really go that often.
Yeah. Harris Teeter used to... They don't anymore. But Harris Teeter used to have this little... oh no, my Siri thinks I'm talking to it. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about Harris Teeter. Okay. So they had a little, like, balloon corral by the front. Like, there was a bunch of little...
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, helium balloons with a little net. And when you were there, you got to leave with a little balloon, okay? So this is what I picture in my head for whatever reason. It's that, and we're not in Harris Teeter, okay? It's a vacuum, okay? It's
right.
just that thing. The corral, the balloon corral. And you take your balloon, and as you pull it out of the corral into freedom, into your hand, this partnership, immediately... It bursts. But no noise. No noise. It just falls apart.
Oh, good.
Oh, but also, I just realized this isn't right. The ribbon and everything is still floating, but the balloon is burst. You know?
Interesting. Maybe a little Pennywise.
Oh.
You know.
No thanks.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
a good movie.
Well, let's...
We love that movie.
Let's get into our... News.
What'd you give it?
I gave it 2.5.
I did it again? Are you
I think
serious?
I think so.
Gosh.
But it's okay.
I can't believe it.
It's
maybe
good to confirm
you say
it.
It like an auctioneer, maybe.
I don't know.
Quicksilver.
We'll have to ask
I only know
Quicksilver
because of Evan Peters. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a little news. Should we touch on The Tax Collector? Shia LaBeouf's new film, maybe?
Absolutely.
So this is a upcoming Netflix original coming out on August 7th. So
soon.
Coming up. It's directed by David Ayer, who did End of Watch, Fury, Suicide Squad,
oh boy,
Bright, some of which we reviewed on the show. Shia LaBeouf is a tax collector for gangs, and he like goes around as like an enforcer almost. And the character has these extensive chest and arm tattoos on the front. I guess that makes sense. It's a chest.
Live your best life, Henry.
Thank you. You too.
The back could be the inside, which is really gross.
That's true.
So you're in the right.
And the tattoos are very striking. apparently, in very typical Shia LaBeouf fashion, he takes it to the next level. He just goes for it.
Yeah.
And the tattoos that you see that are in the trailers and in the promos are real tattoos. He actually went to a tattoo artist and got permanent tattoos for the role.
I absolutely would not allow him to do that. Like as as a producer or anything like that. I like put it in the contract. Like, okay, if you really want these, you can get them after the movie's wrapped for 3 months.
But Chloe, what if Shia, having a place in Hollywood, says, I won't sign the contract unless I can do that? Would you say,
I would call his
Shia?
mom. I would call his mom. I'd call his rabbi. I'd call anyone.
What if they don't answer?
What if they don't answer?
Yeah.
I would just sit down and
it's
talk
up
to
to
him.
you. You say, and Shia says, I'm sorry, Chloe. I appreciate your love of Honey Boy,
Yeah.
but unless I can tattoo myself for the role,
Hey,
for the tax collector.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, sure.
That's what he'd say.
Yeah. As much as I love your appreciation for that, I won't do it unless I can really get tattooed. That's like when he pulled one of his teeth for Fury, another David Ayer movie.
I would have to see, I think that's an unhealthy relationship. I do.
I don't know if it's great.
I think it's unhealthy, especially given his trauma and everything. I just think it's extremely irresponsible. I'm not surprised that it's done by the person who gave us Suicide Squad and a very tumultuous and time in history where there's a lot of mental health issues and everything. By the way, Joker's the #1 stream movie on. That's what I'm talking about. There's people watching that on loop like a manifesto. This is my concern.
Wait, what is?
Joker? It's like the most streamed movie on HBO Max or something.
Yeah.
Do you see, Henry? There's problems.
I did. I don't. Yeah, I'm with you.
Irresponsible. But so that's how I'm feeling about David Ayer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like Jared Leto did all that crap on his set and everything. You know, I just have problems with it. Especially Shia LaBeouf is a survivor of many things. He's in recovery and everything like that, trauma. And the fact that literally his childhood trauma was forcing all of himself to become an entertainer character, like blank canvas, whatever. The fact that that's literally was the basis or the physical manifestation of a lot of his abuse. You're going to let him do all this, pull his tooth out? Absolutely insane to me. Like, I just think that's not cool.
Yeah.
Logan, why didn't you help your buddy out? You know?
Yeah. Well, it's very it's quite a sight for sure.
I can't tell if I'm being too, like, I feel like I'm being super extra this episode, but also, like, I feel like everything I'm saying is valid, so who knows?
I don't disagree.
That's wild, Henry.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
If he gets skin cancer, I think David Ayer should have to pay up.
Well, with all that being said, what did you actually think of the trailer? Now, do you like End of Watch?
I do. No. Yes. Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
I
and Michael
do.
Pena.
I haven't watched it in a while, but when I watched it, I was like moved.
Yeah. Me neither.
And to be fair, I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay. So that's number one.
Well, maybe we can pair that with The Tax Collector.
That'd be awesome. I'd love that. I haven't watched it in a long time. But like that should be the end of the okay zone. Like Jake Gyllenhaal got himself like was asked to be tasered. Like, okay, that's fine. Like that's the limit though. You know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm you know.
Yeah.
I'm maintaining impartial, as it were. I'm without feeling about it.
Yeah. With David Ayer,
it didn't look great. It didn't look terrible, though. It didn't look great.
Yeah.
I'll watch it for the performances is probably my most straightforward answer.
I would
Certainly
agree.
not for the story. I can tell you that right now. I am not watching it for the story.
Yeah, with David Ayer, he's very hit and miss for me. I like Suicide Squad to a degree. I would say End of Watch is his best by far.
And it was like was it his first?
No, he had done other stuff.
But like a biggie?
That was the one that really got him there. I'm getting, not that it's David Ayer in particular, I'm getting a little tired of these like kind of trashy gangster movies.
Yeah.
Like modern day. I don't know, something about the style just doesn't do it for me. And you know, not that it's inherently bad, because there are others in that subgenre, so to speak, that I like.
But they have those like watch commercial vibes.
Yeah.
Like Keep It, you know, or like those really annoying car commercials, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Not Subaru ones, not the Matthew McConaughey ones. I mean like the other ones where you don't even know it's about a car for like the first half. And then you're like, really? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Or you do know it's about a car. No. I'm wrong, Henry. You know it's about a car the whole time, but it's like close-ups of shine, you know, but no voice.
Yeah.
It's just like dramatic music and that.
What you said about the trailer, I'm on the same level. I'll see it for Shia LaBeouf, and I'll watch what David Ayer makes. Even if I don't like it, I'll probably watch it. The story, I could not care less, really. I'm fine with the crime movie, but it just feels kind of tired at this point. Mm-hmm. And I think Shia looks very good in it. You know, I'm very excited to see his performance in it. It's just that everything else is a fairly
hopefully it's not boring.
Subpar.
Ooh.
I hope not.
Even the performance hopefully isn't boring. You know, I'd probably rather watch Bronson. We'll find out.
Yeah, but that one comes out on in August 7th. Ooh. So short time before that one is out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, the other bit of news is Netflix released their top 10 most watched original movies. I think just today or in the last day, they did a little survey. Chloe, you froze for a second.
You froze as well, buddy.
Okay. They
keep going.
And they good? Okay. Sorry about that. We're doing this remotely, so we have some occasional technical problems. I might just start at the top 10 and go to number 1, if that's cool with you, Chloe. So the first one is The Perfect Date. Chloe, have you seen this?
What is that?
I have no idea. But that is at number 10 with 48 million views.
The Perfect Date.
Number 9. And one thing that they did specify, all 10 of these movies have been released in the last 3 years.
Okay.
What
about that Christmas Prince movie? People watch it.
Don't think
that would be interesting if each account or each profile rather get like one viewing, not like 12 viewings by one. You know, because that would be, you know, Miss Stevens would be off the charts if it was just, you know, if it showed every time I watched it.
Yeah. Number 9, The Platform. Another one I have not seen.
No.
Which is like a sci-fi horror film. I think earlier this year it came out.
Never heard of it.
That has 56 million.
Nothing.
All right.
Okay.
Number 8, The Wrong Missy with David Spade.
Whoa.
With 59 million.
And what's her name? Kirsten Shaw, right? No, not Kirsten Shaw.
No.
What's her name? Oh crap!
I know who you mean. I don't know her name though.
Oh, I feel terrible.
Number
Lauren Lapkus.
7.
Lauren Lapkus. I got there.
Oh yeah. Number 7
is
with
it Lauren
60.
Lapkus? I have zero recollection now. I've actually never even watched a trailer for that.
I haven't watched it. That's another one I haven't watched.
Yeah, it is Lauren Lapkus. Okay.
Number 7 with 63 million is Triple Frontier.
No idea.
The
Henry,
Ben
I thought
Affleck...
we were a movie podcast.
well, I mean, this is the Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam,
Never
Michael
heard
Payne.
of it.
It's by the guy who did All Is Lost and A Most Violent Year, J.C. Chandler.
Nothing.
I think that came out last year, maybe. Number 6 with 64 million, The Irishman.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one for us. Number 5, 73 million, Murder Mystery, the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston comedy.
I've yet to give that a poke, shockingly.
Yeah. Number 4, 6 Underground with 83 million.
Dear Lord.
Number 3 with 85, Spencer Confidential, the Peter Berg, Mark Wahlberg film from earlier this year.
I don't I'm sure you've mentioned it. I feel like
barely.
Maybe.
I like Peter Berg's like Patriots Day and stuff, but I heard that was horrible.
I
So
mean, I want to say never heard of it, but I feel like I should saying it was probably mentioned around me. I have zero recollection of this movie existing.
Yeah. Number 2 with 89, Bird Box. That's not too big of a shocker.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it was all right.
I better know number 1. Is it To All the Boys I've Loved Before?
It isn't.
Girls Be Cray.
At number 1
Tell
with
me.
99 million views, Chloe's favorite film.
Oh no!
Extraction.
Oh come on! Are you serious?
99 million views for Chris Hemsworth's Extraction.
God, 99.
Which came out, what, a month ago? A month and a half ago? It's already racked up 99 million views and is their most watched original movie of all time.
Are you kidding me?
It is ridiculous. I was talking to Sam at the shop earlier today. We could not believe it.
I am.
We talked for hours about it.
I am not happy.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I was irate.
Guys, look. It's your prerogative. You live your best lives, buddies. If you're not hurting anyone, you can watch that movie, enjoy it. But be aware of...
It's a hunk of junk.
Be aware. Not just like the fact that I think it's a poorly constructed film and everything like that, right? Just be aware of the implicit biases that are being enforced by you watching this movie. Okay? Like, it pisses me off.
Yeah. And now, the one, as we talked about on the review of it, my guess is the main reason this did so well is because the Russo brothers who did the Avengers films were the I guess one of them wrote it and the both of them produced it. I'm sure that's the main reason it's doing so well.
That makes me even more mad.
Yeah. The thing is, though, as we said, if this had come out in theaters, nobody would have seen it. Because for example, the Chadwick Boseman movie that they produced last year, 21 Bridges, kind of not same thing, but same genre. Nobody saw it. And like that would be the same thing with this, I'm sure. I can't be 100%, but like if this had come out in theaters at the normal time, a bomb. Maybe not a bomb, but a very big disappointment. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
You know? But no, it is skyrocketed to the top.
I'm livid.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, there you go. Your top 10.
I'm very frustrated, Henry. Further frustrated because it happens every time. You know how you're like, "What's up?" and I'm like, "Oh, I was gonna say I had a story. I can't remember." Right? Happened with news every single time. Like there was something I was like, "Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this at news because we didn't talk about it last week." Like it's been around, but I have no idea what it is / was / could be. So I'm heartbroken.
Yeah. Well, if it comes to you, just let us know.
Yeah. I'll write it into the Film Buds podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say if...
And then I'll rate the show and leave a review on iTunes.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Tell us your favorite original Netflix movie. The Film Buds podcast at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. I would
love that.
I would be very curious.
I would love to
comment
do a
on
list.
Facebook like those nice people did earlier.
Yeah. I would love to do a list of the Film Buds top 5 Netflix
That'd be
originals. Cool. I can't even think of any.
Yeah, let's get to our listener questions. So, as I just said, the Film Buds podcast at gmail.com is where you can reach us at. Also, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Film Buds. So, if you haven't already, please follow us there. Comment, like, all that stuff. Share with your buddies.
Address.
Yeah, if you want, join our mailing list at thefilmbuds.com, all that good stuff.
Mail Henry things after you find his address.
If you want. I mean,
you're so funny.
As long as it's not harmful, feel free to.
Fair enough. Harmful will be a copy of Extraction.
Yeah.
That was weak. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that would be hysterical if someone actually did that. Okay, the one we have this week, let's see who we got here. Who's it going to be? It's from Thompson Morn.
Whoa, that's a cool name.
It's a cool name for sure.
Thompson Moore.
And he says, "Greetings, my friends.
Hello.
This is my first message to you."
Hello. We know we would have remembered your name, Thompson. That's
For sure.
That's in the noggin for life.
He's tell me what you think of the James Gray response to Ad Astra's science criticisms. Do you think the situation is justified, or is it just too harsh compared to others who easily pass without it? I wouldn't make it through work without you two in my ear.
Oh my goodness. We love you, Thompson. I wonder what you do where that's possible.
I bet it's an office. That's my guess.
You're allowed to do that in an office?
If you're
You know,
subtle,
live your best
covert.
life, Thompson.
You know,
I'm
just
all
do
for
the little
it.
one ear.
Don't get me
Just
wrong.
do the one ear.
I'm all for it.
Just do the one ear.
Especially you got that AirPod. Maybe
Yeah, be
Thompson's got
creative.
maybe Thompson's got long hair. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who's to say?
Let us know. I would be curious.
That's the coolest name ever. That sounds like pre-superhero name. Like that's the name of somebody who, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I feel like they have names like that before they even book it. It's like their destiny because their names are super, well constructed.
Yeah.
You know?
So what Thompson Morn is referring to is in the last couple of days, James Gray, who did Ad Astra, which we reviewed on the show last year, and he also did The Lost City of Z, he came out with a response to the critics who were
mostly me
hating on the scientific inaccuracies of the film. And so this is an article from IndieWire by, let's see who it is, Zach Sharf.
See, that's got nothing on Thompson Moore, and I can tell you that.
That's true. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Congrats on the IndieWire job, though. That's cool. And so just to kind of paraphrase here, he says, just how accurate do space movies have to be when it comes to science? Following the release of James Gray's Ad Astra last fall, the film came under fire by the likes of Neil deGrasse Tyson for containing numerous scientific inaccuracies. NBC News published an essay titled "What Ad Astra and Brad Pitt Got Wrong About Space Travel."
Okay. Kip Thorne.
And
all the negative reviews were written by Christopher Nolan and me. We sat down,
probably.
had some tea around the fire, roasted some marshmallows, called Kip. We Skyped with Kip Thorne, and we all had a little roast
a little
fest.
chat about it.
Yeah, we made a little burn book.
Yeah, and James Gray came out with a response here. He says, "We were trying to do a kind of fable or a myth in space. There are people who criticize your films, and a lot of times, to my face, they say things. It's pretty funny. The assumption is you are a director and everybody lies to you. That's not true in my case. Everybody comes to me and is like, you know what I hate about your movie is? A lot of the times they make a good point, but one thing that troubled me about Ad Astra was when people said, well, in the actual science, his hair would be floating in 0G, or he wouldn't be able to sail through the rings of a planet."
Yeah.
And he went on to say, "To me, it's a very fatuous level of critique. You don't read the myth of Icarus and say, wax on feathers wouldn't allow you to fly."
He just compared Ad Astra to the story of Icarus.
Yes.
That, first of all, is wild to me.
Yeah. And I guess that's about it. Everything else is just, whatever.
Also, they're totally different. You're talking about, this is what I say, just make an alternate reality. And I know he kind of did because everything was more futuristic. Like, I wouldn't get on the hair stuff and everything like that. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they got some astronaut, hair gel in a few years. Like, that kind of thing doesn't bother me. But, like, I remember my dad being, like, irritated by the space ring stuff. Like, the whole movie, he was mad. But, like, it's again.
Yeah, none of us were really fans of it. Spoiler.
Oh, hated it. Because now that's the other thing. If the story was incredible, I mean, look at Star Wars, okay? If the story, I don't even like Star Wars, but you take my point. Like, if the story captivates people, forms an emotional attachment, whatever, then fine, okay? calling Ad Astra similar to Icarus.
Well, he's just comparing them as myths, not the level of.
But that's what it takes. It's like they say like in writing you have to earn a death. You know,
right?
You can't just have a character plop out for someone to cry or whatever, a plot point. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I feel like he didn't have, which is why I'm saying like with Star Wars or whatever, like he didn't have anything behind it, which would have made it fine.
Now, what is important to note is while we weren't fans of it, it was very well received across the board by a lot of people.
Well,
it got
Neil.
pretty positive, and so it's not like the film was trashed completely,
Let's ask
and
Buzz.
people are just, and so it's like, because I was talking to people at work, all really liked it.
Oh, don't tell me Crumit liked it. I'll be so sad.
I don't think he's seen it.
Good.
Not him.
Good.
But critically, it did quite well, and so it's like, not to say that we're incorrect, Chloe, but
I'm not. The movie sucked.
But like
what they did to Ruth Nega's character in that movie is truly shameful.
Yeah,
and the wife, that whole thing, the little cologne commercial. Give me a break.
Yeah, I can feel for James Gray saying that.
Oh, Papa got mad about the glass and stuff. Remember the bio stuff? We bleeped it out.
Right.
Remember the whole thing with that? But my dad was pissed. He said, "This is totally not a thing."
Yeah, when I was watching it, that stuff doesn't really affect me all that much. I can't think of many sci-fi films that does. I mean, I love Gravity. It's ridiculous, but I don't have an issue with the science of it, and that wasn't at all an issue for me personally.
It really bothers me. I just feel like they haven't earned it, especially something because it's like we were talking about, like if you're drawing from other people's stories, like it's not yours, right? You better do it service. Like we're talking about versions of Sweeney Todd last episode, whatever, that kind of thing, right? Just like you have to live up to the standard kind of thing, like pay it its dues kind of, right? And I think that's true with nature and the majesty of Earth, okay, David Attenborough? Like, I think it's crazy to take it and be like, oh yeah, I want this little story. Just make it a different universe, okay? Don't call it the moon, call it the freaking, I don't know, Glurbergook, okay?
That's a good one.
You know what but you know what I mean? So it really does irk me, like, no, like, you don't, and again, it's like Christopher Nolan put the time and effort and respect into his stories, his characters, his audience to make sure everything was at least plausible. He just called up Kip Thorne. Like, that's sick. That's so cool. Mm-hmm. And I cut you off, so I apologize.
Yeah.
But the last thing is, like, we've been over this, like, the beauty of movies, especially, like, sci-fi and stuff like that. Like, my dad loved Star Trek, and part of which, it's, obviously it's like a space opera, right? But, like, a lot of stuff, and even, like, silly stuff, like, what's that called? Oh, God. What's the crappy spy called? With the shoe phone? Anyway, the point is, the point is, like, lots of old stuff, where, like, it sparked imagination and everything, right? Like, a lot of that stuff has come to fruition, like the freaking talking to, having a video call someone on your watch. Like, that used to be sci-fi, now it's real, you know what I mean? Like, because the potential is there, and that's what I think is beautiful, is, like, movies, especially kind of big imagination-filling ones and everything like that, is, like, they inspire people in all different ways. Like, it makes some people want to make movies, but then it really, like, maybe makes someone fall in love with space, that kind of thing, So I do think it's kind of a betrayal. I think you have to be kind of, like, conceited, at least in the way, like, you're so full of yourself, you haven't left room for anybody else, I really do. Because it's you're communicating art into the world, like, Yeah. It does.
I would be curious to rewatch it just to see how it plays on a second viewing, but I can understand his defense of, I don't know, because again, there are a lot of people who really love it, so it's not like a film was trashed across the board and he's having to defend this part of it, it got very strong reviews in a lot of places. It's just that
it was terrible. It was so bad.
Hmm.
Because again, it's not just the science. Also, the plot sucked. The characters had no depth. Like, it was just, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah. Now, was something like Arrival, was that criticized? I can't remember if it was.
I mean,
for science, like,
I don't know. I can't. I don't know. But again, they worked with like actual, linguistic anthropologists and like all that stuff. So like, something there,
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's, more power to him to come out and defend it. Why not?
Nah, he pisses. I hate it when people are like, yeah, and it's funny. Like, I think that's so dismissive. Ugh.
Well,
also, I'm being me, but I just think like, I think you can tell a lot. Like, you know how I'm not really one for separating the art from the artist usually? I know, Harry Potter, I know, but that's, I know, I'm sorry, I know, I'm grappling with it.
It's a tough situation. It's all good.
But, like, the art from the artist kind of thing, like, a lot of times I think the art, if it's any good, if it's honest or whatever, it says something about the artist, right? So what I mean by that is, like, it makes sense that air of entitlement that I get from him is what I get from the movie as well.
Yeah, fair enough. It
sure don't pass the Bechdel test, I can tell you that.
Right. I don't think it's really bad for a director to come out and say it's funny when someone criticizes his movie. Like, I don't know.
I don't think it's bad, but it certainly rubs me it's just
why is that?
The kind of response that, it's
why
so
is that?
dismissive.
And no, I'm not saying I just disagree with you, but in what way?
What do you mean? Calling criticisms funny is a dismissive thing to...
Well, they can be. I mean, if someone just says, your movie, sucks, I mean, I'm not gonna, like, if someone says, if someone lays down the groundwork for it, sure.
Which they did.
That's not really...
A lot of people did, down to the freaking hair.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that, but, like, if that's all they say.
I know, but like Neil
who
deGrasse
cares?
Tyson did. Like, that's,
yeah.
like.
Oh, I'm not saying he's justified. I mean, in terms of who would know better, sure.
I just think it's obnoxious. That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought the movie was obnoxious, so it just like adds up. Like, we probably won't get along. He'd probably hate me, So I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree that if you're taking criticisms. Yeah, or I mean, not to say that it's totally the same thing, but like someone like David Ayer defending Suicide Squad, like someone that comes out and someone, while there are a lot of issues with that movie, someone just hating on it beyond belief, just saying it's the worst superhero film ever made and all these things, and but clearly there's a lot going on underneath because there are so many changes made to that movie. And him having to just deal with it. Now, again, with Ad Astra, that seems like it's his vision, and it's not like there was huge changes made, and he's having to deal with it. But like, I can understand a director trying to brush off certain criticisms, but
yeah, but do it with grace. Dang, you're a freaking director. You're like living the life. Hush, hush, and the whole thing. I'm not kidding. This is also very specific, and I feel like I do this a lot. But I have always loved the story of Icarus. It's been like my thing. Like, we have had a time together. Like, okay, I'm here for the labyrinth. I'm loving it all, And so it's just like so obnoxious to compare the two. Like, yeah, that's a timeless cautionary tale that communicates to every single human about the human condition. Like, okay, Ad Astra is about a man with daddy issues who's mean to his wife. One's ever so slightly more relatable than the other.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you totally. The last thing I'll say is
also, bruh, you're talking about, I don't know if you made the connection because it's like going into space, like flight, like, trying to get to the sun and everything, trying to fly and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
Exploration, whatever. Bruh, there is a centaur in that story. What life are you living?
Yeah.
With your little apes? in space, okay? Goodbye. Good night.
Yeah.
Farewell. So long.
It's just that for me, like, at the end of the day, it's just a sci-fi movie. So,
We've always had this discussion, though. I cannot with bad sci-fi.
It's not saying this is a true story. Everything in it is true. It's just it's a sci-fi film where they're having a Mad Max Fury Road chase on the moon. Like, it's not,
But they try. It takes itself so seriously. It's intellectual and everything, and blah 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 blah. But it's all.
I'm on the same page. I'm totally for people criticizing the science of something. I can also just see how a director can move past it.
I'm sure because he did in the first place. Dear Lord.
Yeah.
Again, you're either a Christopher Nolan, you're a what's his name?
Gray. You're
Gray.
a Grayman.
You know?
Yeah.
You know Thompson? I hope work's going well today.
I hope so.
Or quarantine or whatever you're doing. To all the buddies, in fact.
He could be he could be at home working. It could be
Yeah.
Who knows?
Sure, and or quarantine.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again for the question. And the Film Buds Podcast at gmail.com. Just one more time. Is where you can reach us at. All right. Well, let's end off with our picks of the week, Chloe, shall we?
Yeah. Oh, this one is actually. Yeah. Thank you, Thompson.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, and Henry, because I would have forgotten, because I have several times. A while ago, my dad and I finished Space Force.
You haven't talked about that yet. Yeah.
Greg Daniels, Benny Schwartz, my favorite. Yeah. I feel so bad. I always want to call him Michael Scott, Steve Carell. I feel so bad. Tawny Newsom's in, like, lots of people are in it, right? John Malkovich. Anyway, big old, huge, ridiculous cast. And I thought
now the series. Before you say anything, the series did get fairly mixed reviews, which was surprising. Were you?
I would say the show is more surprising than the mixed reviews. Like, I couldn't believe how bad it was. I was so mad.
Really?
I was so mad. And there were certain things where I was like, how did this get through? Like, I'm about to be on my soapbox again, okay? But it matters. Like who thought it was
Did you say it's done by Greg Daniels?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why do you think... right? Or Mike Schur? No, both of them, I think, right?
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay.
crap. I can't remember. It's one of
I wasn't sure.
Yes. It's one of the goats.
Thank you.
Or both of them. I can't remember. But, yeah, it was like everything about this should have been good, right? Like, they were basically gifted by the grace of this post-apocalyptic, god-awful, but hey, there's always hope. Present. Future can always be brighter. Right, everyone?
Yeah.
But, the stupidest thing that's ever been thought of, right? Like the Space Force, one idiot. So stupid. But that was like given to them, right? And they're like, okay, let's run with this. But they didn't even with the satire, they didn't do much. Like, they only went there halfway. Like, the first lady should have had an accent or something. Like, they only went halfway with everything, which kind of made me mad. It's like, because they had like a literal. Oh God, I'm about to be on my soapbox real quick. Not even a soapbox. This is like therapy corner, okay? We progressives get punched and punched and punched, and nobody cares, okay? They had literally someone doing an impression of AOC, straight up, clearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't even make fun of Trump. It's like, okay, this is irritating, right? So anyway,
yeah,
I'm just like, if you're gonna do it, you better do it, okay? But also, some of the, I guess, which speaks to it, it just felt like really like lazy, almost like complacent.
That's what I got from it. I mean, from what the clips I've seen of it,
because everyone is so famous and classically funny and like all that. Like, I don't know if it was complacent because, again, it really bothered me. There were a few things actually where I was literally like to my dad, I was like, how did this? Like, I want to stop. I was like, how is this okay? Like, right? Like, for example, like Lisa Kudrow's character is in jail. Like, we don't know why, right? First of all, there aren't any other white inmates. They're like all, black and brown, everything, right? But
Right.
also, who thought it was acceptable for her to be given cornrows? Like, someone tell me. Okay? That's repugnant, right? Like, that's not funny. That's super, super messed up. You know? So, that kind of thing. It's like, which, it's not even clever, Stupid, Stereotypes are lazy AF, If you're gonna make fun of me for being Jewish, at least better think of something innovative,
Right.
Say that,
Yeah, so...
say that my breath smells
disappointment.
bad because of all the latkes I'm eating or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about the schnoz. So that was irritating. And the plot, like, you have, so much to work with. And I know, like, I didn't write it, sure. But, like, with that, so much to work with, right? But, like, what they did was so stupid. Like, it wasn't funny. It wasn't clever. Like, just dumb.
That's too bad.
Yeah. And literally they called it Space Force. Like, if you're gonna do satire, freaking do satire. Yeah. It was really bad. It was really, really, really bad. And my dad liked it more than I did, but I think, again, that's just because he's kind of sweet. Don't waste your time with it, Henry. Do you know how sad I was? Benny Schwa's in it.
Oh,
I
bet.
still hated it.
I bet.
God.
Okay. I'll chime in here. I watched, as I told Chloe, I watched 7,500, the new
Episodes of Columbo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're not wrong. The new Amazon original Joseph Gordon-Levitt thriller.
You told me?
And this is...
God, I'm the worst. Oh, you did tell me. I didn't realize that was it. I just knew the name. Okay.
And this is a single location hijack thriller.
We have enough of that right now.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a young pilot, commercial airline pilot. And they, get going on their flight. Everything is peachy keen, going fine.
Peachy Keen, that'd be a good drag name.
It's not bad.
Henry, that should be your drag name if you ever so choose to take up the art. Unless it's probably taken. Like, that's a really good one.
Well, we'll do some digging.
Okay.
And the flight's going fine. A-okay. He's getting a sandwich. They're ordering their food. Meat or fish. Then
sandwich?
Suddenly... Yeah, they got sandwiches.
I've never gotten maybe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're not great.
I don't eat on airplanes.
They are available.
Oh, my God.
And
can you hear
then
that?
all of a sudden, hijackers.
No, stop.
All right?
Stop. Okay. My dad is water. He planted a crap ton of fig trees just because, it suited him. And so he was watering with the hose. But I don't know if he was being him or being funny or being whatever, but he was like spraying the window to my right. So didn't know if you could hear that.
I couldn't.
And he thought I was saying stop, like with my hand, but obviously he thought I was waving. So
classic.
That's funnier than Space Force.
Yeah. Anyways, the hijackers who were passengers on the plane, they suddenly try to take over, try to get into the. They take advantage of the sandwich.
What?
Delivery.
I'm back in.
Because normally the door is locked right when the flight starts, so that way it can prevent people coming in. But they're like, let's watch for that sandwich delivery. Let's
it's
keep
like a
an eye out.
layover?
What's up?
A layover?
No.
I can't understand this. Before they take off, they're waiting for a sandwich?
No. So
for the food to be put on the plane?
No, the food's there. The food is on the plane. They're flying up.
Okay.
Normal flight. The thing is, when after the pilots have ordered,
the cabin door.
Yes,
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, I didn't specify.
Gotcha.
This is not an in-air delivery.
Cockpit. All right, I'm with you.
That would be amazing, though. Anyways, they break in and they stuff happens to the other pilot, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt is able to force out most of them and lock it, but then knock one of them unconscious, and he ties him up,
okay.
and then
He got rope in the cock in the. He got rope in there.
He does the
It's
seat
fine.
that's
He's a Boy Scout. Yeah, I got you. Oh, emergency landing.
yeah.
That's dumb.
And then the hijackers that you can see. You all right? You all right?
Here, come here.
Even people hanging here.
My dad just walked in.
Hey, Gary.
And I think, here you go. We're almost at the end, so you can be around. You don't have to whisper. Jeez. Okay, so
Hi, Henry.
you should have seen the face. My dad
Gary.
walked in and realized I was still doing the podcast, I guess, during his little window stunt. And he went, it was very amusing. Okay, sorry, continue. We're talking about
it's fine, yeah.
movie.
And so the majority of the movie is Joseph Gordon-Levitt stuck in the cockpit trying to figure out what to do. And there's some questions that arise of, well, if I open the door, they'll let everybody go. But if he keeps the door locked, they'll start killing hostages. Because they want control of the plane.
They're going to kill everyone anyway. Whatever. That's dumb.
And it's a fairly decent thriller. I like single location.
Why doesn't he just do some little twirly whirls so they fall? They hit their head or whatever.
Well, he did some of that. He did some of that.
Presumably that would be smart because everybody, buckle up, put that light on, and then.
And I like single location movies. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is quite good.
Always.
There's nothing really, noteworthy about it to really talk about. It's just kind of a decent thriller. The one thing though, there is a bit of towards the end. A little too much unneeded Stockholm syndrome that you're just not really. It doesn't really feel.
It's like I really want that sandwich.
Yeah.
Was it like Lord of the Flies? Did the passengers start? They like the whatever's
No,
there?
no. It's one of the hijackers and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, they fall in love.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It just feels a little out of place for what's just happened.
Yeah.
It just doesn't totally
He's
work.
a forgiving man.
Yeah, but if you see what happens, you wouldn't be as. I don't think he would be as forgiving in reality.
No.
But still, it was okay. It's an hour and a half or so, in and out, done.
Just
no
like
problem.
A flight to New York from here.
Yeah. Well said. That's about it. Actually, I watched The Trip to Greece. It was okay.
Of course, Rob Brydon.
Not as good as the first two by far.
No, that's true. There's a TV show.
Yeah.
It's good.
So that's about it.
Have we watched anything?
Just Eve.
We've been watching Killing Eve. I saw
yeah.
the first season already a while ago, and then the ending pissed me off so much. I was like, I cannot with this, so I didn't watch the second season. But now we're watching it together, and now we're on season 3. We just watched episode 1. It's a mess, but whatever.
All right.
We don't know what's going to happen.
Well,
which is probably good.
That's good commentary.
For suspense.
There you go.
No, because now I feel like a crazy person. This is a bit of a...
Well, Chloe always calls it. She knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think I might have tendencies.
Even though they're weird.
It's
weird
not good.
happenings.
I don't feel good about it. Like, I watched this is tangential. I watched this thing called Celebrity Gogglebox. Just leave me alone. It's basically like famous British people watch TV, and you're watching them watch TV, and it's my favorite thing in the whole world. I know.
Sounds amazing.
My favorite thing in the whole world. So anyway, so they watch Killing Eve and stuff, and it's like, it makes me feel like, again, I feel like I might have issues because they are always shocked by what happens, and I know what's gonna, don't I? You can't not. I always say what's going to happen. And it makes me very unhappy with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I hate Eve. I don't know if it's a hot take. She's my least favorite character.
I don't know.
You've never seen it?
Nope.
Henry, you would love it.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. You would seriously love it. I shouldn't tell you this. Take your headphones out so I can tell the audience.
Well, I'm going to hear it anyways when I'm...
You listen to the whole thing?
Not the whole thing. I can skip it.
Okay, so take them out. I think
Oopsie.
Henry... I'm going to block I think Henry will love this so much that I was going to get him the book series for his birthday. Yeah. So...
Am I safe?
So you should definitely watch it.
Okay.
Very up your alley.
Alrighty.
So good.
Cool.
Henry's been watching a lot of Columbo.
I have.
I approve.
I'm a big fan.
But I've seen them all so many times that I can't watch anymore because I just know what's going to happen. And
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm sure I'll get there too.
It's almost predetermined from the start. You know who the bad guy is.
Don't remind me.
And you know Columbo's going to get him almost every time.
Yeah.
Not every time, but almost.
Spoiler.
If Columbo doesn't get him, Perry Mason will.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we love Perry Mason.
Well, Perry Mason will defend them.
Okay, well, I guess that about does it. Sadly.
So sad.
Now,
Have you enjoyed your time?
Immensely.
Now, next week on the show, I don't know. Is Chloe anything that comes to mind?
No, but seldom does anything. So
this is true.
Time will tell. But you have a bonus episode.
I do, yeah. So tomorrow,
I think I'll make an appearance. I think I'll pop in for the intro.
We're gonna do it around 3.
Perfect.
That's cool. So yeah, friend of the show, Allie, who was on the Hamilton show, which everybody's listened to that. She and I are going to be talking some Star Wars, which is going to be great, and that will be up on Bandcamp. The filmbuds.bandcamp.com is the link. So that'll be up within the next week, hopefully, and we'll figure something good out.
Oh,
It'll be good. Yeah, 100%. For sure. Okay.
Didn't Ad Astra make you mad because it was scientifically so unfactual?
Yeah.
Incorrect? Mm-hmm. Implausible?
Yeah.
Very distracting. There you go.
Oh, I
stupid.
I get you.
Oh, you were on that episode. You already had your show. Yeah, go back and listen to that.
I did.
Yeah. Okay, well, Chloe, as always, it's great to see you. Gary, it's great to see you too.
Good seeing you.
Henry, you're the best.
You're the best too.
Your hair game is on top.
Thank you.
11 out of 10.
Thank you so much. Your hair is rocking too. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I almost didn't recognize you, Henry.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
that's a problem now.
All right. Well, we really hope you enjoyed the show.
Oh my God. How much? 6,958 as much as we did. That was pretty low, but I really hated that first movie. But I love talking to you, Henry.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Food and drinks, my mood makes you think that this life's made for a king. The room starts to shake, so smooth if you blink, you might just miss the whole thing. It's just a different way to move in the high life. So